Hello and welcome back to another Sons of the Forest video. Today we're going to be going over the basic what to do guide. So, this game drops you into this world, this large island, right away at the beginning. It'll drop you on this beach where I'm standing right now. And that's about it. You'll have a GPS, you will have a basic hatchet that you can get, you have a backpack that you can mix stuff up and store it in, but that's it. They don't really go through a lot. You'll have some small tutorial stuff where it'll explain just a couple systems, and then it leaves you there. And so I just kind of want to let you know what to do. So the first thing to do, now this isn't going to be super organized or structured, I just have a couple steps to get you going in the game and kind of point you in the right direction. And the first thing to do is the beach that you land on has quite a few resources right on it and nearby it that are very useful that you should utilize. So the first thing is you'll notice on the beach here there's a bunch of crates scattered around, and basically every time you reload into the game these will be full. So if you die and reload a save they'll be full again. If you log off and log back on they should be full again and open, and they'll be full of all sorts of stuff. You'll find hand grenades, flares, medicine, duct tape, the foil blanket-like things, all that sort of stuff, and there's quite a few of them here, so you'll want to loot those as often as possible just because you need the supplies. The other thing about this island right away is that if you walk around in the ocean, just in the shallows, you'll see oysters all around, and you can eat these or store them in your inventory. Either way, it's a source of food that you'll need right away, and it's right here. There isn't a freshwater source right here on the beach, but if you walk straight up into the woods, you'll find several different rivers not too far off, and I could show you on the map. There's one small one right to the right and forward, and then a big one that goes up. Both of those you can drink out of safely. Outside of that, some more basic resources. There will be plenty of trees. I've cut most of them down in this playthrough already, so I've cleared this whole area, but it'll be full of trees. But if you walk up into here, up on the top of this hill, you'll see these little white flowers. These are great to keep your eyes out for early game, because you'll find a ton of them in in an area where they're growing. There will be a lot of them, and they fill both your food and your water meter. So early on, when you don't have a lot of food and water, these are a great resource to keep your eyes out for, because they can totally nourish you and keep you fully going. So that's your basic resources thing, and why this first starting spot right where you land, I decided to set up here, but it's why it's a good spot to keep in mind, because it's got a lot of your more advanced resources in those crates. You've got oysters, you've got fish out in the ocean, you've got those little flower things that are great, and obviously a readily available supply of flat ground and wood. So I do recommend setting up here. It's worked out great for me in this playthrough. Yes, you will encounter mutants and cannibals, but I have not found a single spot on the map where you don't. I think this spot's as good as any, especially because it's pretty centrally located compared to a lot of the locations you're going to find yourself going to across the map. So I say start gathering resources right away so you can survive, and set up some sort of a basic shelter on this beach. Now mind you, the most basic shelter you can set up is this right here, where you toss down an aluminum foil blanket and then just use 2 sticks to prop it up, and you can use that to save and sleep. Sleeping is important because you pass through the night, and the night is just more dangerous because you can't really see that well, and it seems like the cannibals are more active and aggressive at night. So a good tip is just don't be active at night unless you're going to be underground where it doesn't make a difference. And make sure you save, and you have to have a shelter to save. That's the only way. You could play for 20 hours, and there's never going to be a natural save point. There's not going to be any story progression that'll save. You have to go to a place where you can sleep, and that's how you save. Now, that being said, that shelter works perfectly fine, but at points, usually every couple days, you'll find, no matter where you set up your camp, some cannibals or some mutants are going to attack, basically. They'll approach you and attack, and I don't know if that's set to how big of a structure you build or how aggressive you are to them in the world, but in my experience it doesn't take long and they will attack wherever you live. Even I've literally tried up on top of that mountain in the distance, and I've had multiple cannibal attacks within like a 2-day stretch. So it will happen. You'll have to defend yourself, and for that it's good to build yourself some sort of a structure. Unfortunately right now the defensive walls, which work rather well at keeping them out and seem to be, if not indestructible, very durable, because I've had cannibals beating on them for a long time and not take them down. These are the defensive walls, by the way, the ones standing up with the spiky points. These are just regular walls that I built on the front. So far, the defensive walls do seem to work rather well against enemy types. Unfortunately, the defensive gate, it shows you how to build it in your booklet. Right here, it shows that you have to get your logs out in a straight wall, sharpen the tips, and then you should be able to take another log and put it on the back and then use it as a gate, much like we did in the first game. Unfortunately, though, that doesn't seem to work yet. I don't know if it's bugged or they just haven't added it, but I have not been able to make a defensive gate yet. So you have a lot of problems, and what I've done right here is not a solution. So you can see I just have a regular door. The cannibals and the mutants can go right through that door, and they have multiple times into my little fort here. The only way currently that you can, you know, use a defensive walls all the way around and be pretty well defended is you just build a regular wall like this then, and then you can hook a rope up to the top. So all you do to do that, equip a rope in your inventory, and then you just equip it like that. The mutants and cannibals cannot climb ropes, and your walls have to be at least this tall for them to not be able to climb right over, just so you know. The defensive walls they can't climb over, but regular walls they can climb over unless you get it to this tall. But they can't climb ropes. So if you want to build a defensive wall perimeter, you do that all the way around, and then you just have a regular wall with a rope, and you're relatively safe. Eventually they can break that down, but you should be able to take them out before they are able to. So yes, basic location. I like this beach, the starting location that you start at for resources. It's a good idea to get yourself a structure set up so you can at least sleep and save, but it's even better if you can build some defensive fortifications to keep yourself safe while you're trying to craft stuff or whatever, and just in general for well-being and everything. Fires are great, especially in areas where you're going to be more cold. There is a season system in this game, so it will be winter at some point, and so you're going to need fire to keep yourself warm during that. Honestly, as long as you've got enough food and water, though, you can sleep through the winter pretty quickly and then be back to the months where it's easier to survive. That being said, those are all the really, really basic things. That's the stuff that should be pretty intuitive at the beginning of the game. After all of that, and you feel like, okay, I've got to go start doing stuff, that's where your map comes in. And you're going to notice right away, you're going to see these little pink exclamation points. Those are tracking beacons. There's 3 of them, and 2 of them you can get right away. You can just, well, one of them you walk up to and you cut a body down from a ledge and you can get it from them. The other one is out in the ocean on a raft, so you'll have to swim to that, and there are sharks, but it's pretty easy to avoid the sharks. I just swam to it. They don't kill you right away. Like, even if they bite you, it takes down like 1/8 of your life, so you can pretty easily get to the raft without it, and there's actually a pistol on the raft, so that's a way to get a gun early on. But those are what those pink exclamation points are. If you go a little bit further, you'll see, like in the top right corner of my GPS there's a little white circle with a flashing green ring around it. Those are various points of interest. Some of those are going to be underground, like it'll start with a cave and then you'll get into a underground facility where you'll find resources, maybe a 3D printer that you can use to make stuff, maybe more advanced weapons and stuff. But for most of those, you're going to need equipment. And so the basic equipment you need, for example, some of those are going to be buried, as is one of the tracking beacons that you need to find. You need to get a shovel. And to get the shovel, you need to first get the rebreather and the rope gun. And then you go to a cave and you're able to get the shovel, which is how you'll be able to dig to get into some of the underground passages, and how you'll be able to dig up one of the trackers that you need to find, and also a shotgun. So the first step you can do, another reason I recommend starting at this beach, is there's a cave right here next to the beach. At the end of this cave is where you'll find the rebreather. So this is the first cave you want to enter, and you want to get your way to the end. It's going to have mutants in it, so make sure you've got weapons and food and meds and stuff, just in case you don't make it out of your fights fully unscathed, and obviously you need to keep your strength and everything up. But that cave is your first place to go. You want to fully explore that cave, get everything inside that you can. You'll find ropes, flares, food, all sorts of stuff like that that's going to help you out. But at the end, you're going to find the rebreather. There's no overworld map, so I can't exactly show you, but as you travel up through the woods and towards the mountain, you'll find more caves. And I plan on doing future videos for how to find each and every one of these things, you know, the rope gun, rebreather, the shovel, all the weapons and stuff. You're going to be looking for other caves up there. One where you're going to find the rope gun, and then once you've fully explored that cave, once you have the rope gun and the rebreather, you'll be able to go to another cave where you swim through an underwater passage, use the rope gun to get up to a place, and then you'll be able to finally get the shovel. Those are the 3 pieces of equipment you need to fully explore the map and be able to access all of the hidden areas that you need to. Once you've got the shovel, you'll be able to go to one of those points of interest that I talked about on the map, the little green flashing circles, and you'll find 2 yellow, they look like surveying equipment. You'll find they like cameras on sticks. They'll be standing up, and between them there will be a spot where you dig, and you'll find a trap door, and you'll be able to get into underground passages. I'll show where to find these in future videos as well. And in one of those, you'll find a key card which will grant you access to all of the other facilities around the map. Once you've got that key card, you can explore pretty much everything. And that is the point of the game. Once you've done all of that, you've gathered all that stuff, you can explore stuff, you'll figure out the story and where to go from there, and eventually it will lead you to finding the billionaire or finding what happened to the billionaire. I don't want to spoil the story for you, but that's the point of the mission. That's the mission that you're on, and that's what finding all this stuff and exploring all these locations will do. So outside of that, like, that's the general point of the game. So that's the answer to the question, what do you do in Sons of the Forest? That's what you do. Outside of that, you will there's companions to be considered in this game. There's 2 of them. You start off with Kelvin, and he can take basic instructions. There's another companion who she's probably wandering around here. You've probably seen her. She's a mutant with 3 arms and 3 legs, and she will be really skittish at first. If you want to make friends with her, you just don't be aggressive at all towards her. Make sure you put your weapons away, stand still. She'll dance, she'll slowly approach you, and she'll watch you from a distance, only in warm areas, never up in the snowy regions, like just down by the beach and other warm areas. And eventually she'll approach you, and then you can, you know, give her a new outfit or whatever, help her get some guns and stuff, and she can be very useful in combat. And she'll show you, like, she'll lead you to caves and stuff where you can find useful stuff. So don't be aggressive towards her when you find her. Be patient, take the time. Eventually she will approach you, and you'll be able to have her as a companion. Not exactly the same as Kelvin, because you can't give her specific instructions, but she is useful, so I recommend doing that early game too. But that's pretty much it. That's what you do in this game. You have to survive, so you have to gather resources so you can have enough food and water, medicine, equipment, all that sort of stuff. You're going to want a shelter to keep you safe, and a place for you to save and sleep at, and you have to explore the map to find stuff. That's what you do in this game. I hope this video was useful. I know when I jumped into the game, it was like I said, it was sink or swim, you know, dropped into the middle of the ocean, basically, sink or swim, and it doesn't tell you what to do, so that's what I wanted to do in this video. That's all for today. If you want to see any of those guides, because I will show how to find each and everything in this game, subscribe to the channel, and I will be releasing those videos as I complete them. But that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed this video, but we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.